right, welcome everyone. This is Nichel Anderson. I'm your host for my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. In this episode 54, I will focus on topic You Do Matter. This will be published or available, I should say, on February the 11th today. All right, so thank you so much for joining me. Let me go ahead and get started. In this day, I am thankful to the prime creator of all things that I give thanks for this blessing and opportunity that I will use it for the greater good. So, welcome my survivors of the journey to my podcast that aims to inspire and motivate you that you will continue to have joy, peace of mind, and for your sustained success. So, let's talk about You Do Matter. I like to say this because of my journey to the now and in the future. In the beginning, that wasn't the number one that I constantly did because I was surrounded by people that just didn't care. Okay, I'm just going to be real. This is a real podcast. Okay, all right, I'm just keeping it real for you, which I normally do, but I'm also going to share some things and to help reinforce the need to motivate you, the importance of this show topic that you do matter. So, my segment part of important point is that at times self doubt happens and the value meter impacts us to ponder if you matter, right? So, I am here today and in my weekly tweets to say that you do matter. And all that struggle that got you here from your birth to now and the process of creation proves the circle of life needs you here. So, my wisdom point of this segment for my podcast is that we are our number one motivators, that we do matter. Why? Because when we second guess that our existence is insignificant, we don't feel that we do matter. Depression is the cousin from the family matrix of Mr. Fear that sinks in over time, preventing the success in reaching mental peace that we deserve. That's the why that happens. So, who are we really talking about? Everybody. You, me, the person next to you, the person you're going to talk to, everybody. Everybody. I mean, I don't care how high in society that you are or in the lower part of society that you might be. At times in life, we feel that we don't matter and mostly measured by what other people think. So don't choose to feel that way because you do matter. There's a reason why you're here, right? There's a reason why I am motivated in a consistent way. And I have to pat myself on the back in a consistent way to do these podcasts and to be consistent with it from now going on another year or so, my second season, to motivate you that you do matter and to accept and grab and hold on to your life and fight for it. So, what does it look like when you acknowledge in a framework that you do matter? It is one of the best experiences ongoing in your life. You have a whole new perspective. Oh, you're smiling more, you're laughing. You go through the struggles, that's going to happen here and there, but it doesn't tackle you down. So no longer do you care for those that want you to feel and do deeds that you don't matter when actually you do. So you have to ask yourself why all the hard effort and convert ways to stay in your life when you don't matter by their awful negative deeds against you. Okay? The way they talk and do unloving things. You acknowledge that. All right, you call it what it is, and you decide to move away from that. See, some people want you to feel that you're not worthy and you're insignificant. And any word I want you to take away from today is not just you do matter, because I want you to continue to say that and take away from this podcast. I mean, that warms my heart to make sure I give you this message today, but also the point of another word I want you to look at. I want you to look at that as a target. You call that is it archery? Anyway, it's where you have the little red dot in the center and you throw these darts from a distance, and your aim is to put that dart in the middle of the dot. Hopefully I'm describing that game rules correctly. And I want you to have this word. It's called insignificant. I mentioned it earlier in this podcast because you want to knock that down, because that is the adversary that Mr. Fear uses. by those that claim to be for you when they are against you, to make you feel that you are insignificant, which is a lie. And I need you to replay what I just said. If you're listening to this podcast, either in your car or on one of your iPads, whatever, you need to replay what I just said and then come back to this moment, because I want you to remember what I just said. That just came through me, and I want you to get it because it's important. And when you look at the word insignificant, that's what you got to play in your mind when those individuals do the things that take away from your value metrics. They take away from your feelings that you are part, you deserve to be at the table, right? And most of this has been done in our younger phases of our life, and then reinforced when we get older and we begin to pick up on things and situations happen, and we begin to believe, well, maybe it's so what the person just said, or maybe it's okay for me to feel this way when it's not. And you have to be able to constantly know that you are of importance, that you are significant, not insignificant, meaning that, nobody cares, you just here, you all in the way, we need to sweep you up like dust in a dustpan and put you away. No, that's a lie. That's a lie, a bold lie. And you have to acknowledge that yourself, so therefore you can come back and push back to that nonsense. And then it's the other side to this too. My whole mantra today is for you to say and mean and feel that you do matter, is to constantly be aware of when you think that you don't, to come back and say, no, 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 I do matter. All right. I got up today. I breathe in new air. It's a new day. Every new day proves that you do matter, right? It's a cycle of life. And you don't hurry up and rush your cycle of life. You live your life. That's another takeaway that you got to do, okay? And that will bring you to the point of feeling good about yourself. It's great when other people say this and say that to you, whatever, but it's nothing like you can say it to yourself. Okay? Oh, the power. You will be jumping up and down. Ooh, so excited. So let's get to your strategy to succeed. So just remember this: doing the lows when worth is about to fall away from your heart and mind. You have to grab it back by writing down in short sentences or words of what you good at, the good deeds that you have done and will do. Well, let me take that back. The good deeds that you have done, what you're good at, and what mostly people come to you to do because you're so good at it. Because everyone has a talent. What is yours? If you feel, well, I don't have anything that I can name that I'm good at, done something good, I bet you do. If you listen to this podcast and got this point, you chose to listen to it, and then you do have common sense to get the knowledge of motivation, which is key to get a chance to start again in your life. So what's your task to dusk to dawn? It's going to be two things. The first thing, you got to get you a mantra, post it everywhere, okay? Post it up. You got to say, I do matter. Post it so you can see it all the time. The second thing, you have to stay in affirmations constantly. No matter the struggle, pain, and the length therein, still repeat it to yourself, I do matter. See, it is not what others say, which is great, but what is awesome is when you say it and you own it, okay? So your motivational takeaway is, remember this: if some other people don't respect you, remove them to get your worth of value back, because you do matter. Thank you. Joining me for my podcast episode from my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey to Success, just to give you some information to not only stay in contact, but with the other things that I offer. I provide career consultation, offering the first 30 minutes are free. Thereafter, there is a fee excess afterwards per hour and can be discussed on a case-by-case basis, depending on your need. So if it is an emergency and you need some consultation regarding your career or choices that you're about to make moving forward, in a sense, in your personal type objectives, then you can definitely contact me. The primary way to contact me is by email, which is info@nichelanderson.com. Now, I do have a toll-free number on my website. Now, that is actually only for webinars when I'm doing like a free webinar and you're calling in. Once that number is through that medium, and it's only really for that, so it's not really connected to me directly. Now I am working on that, but for right now it's not really, and when that changes you would definitely get a notice of that to go forward. So just to recap, my primary way is info@nichelanderson.com. All right, so the other thing I want to share with you is that I also provide business courses and self-improvement courses. So that overall objective is to help you to create strategies that work for you, to get you motivated, to identify the ways to get your or keep your joy and your mental peace. So I do provide that on the basis of your objective to gain success, and as I like to say, sustain success. You can find information on my courses that I release on my official website, which is www.nichelanderson.com, and you can go there and you can look at the different courses that I am releasing that are available. These courses are self-paced. They will be identified if they're considered to be like live sessions on a regular basis, but for the most part they are self-paced. During that time I do have live sessions that once you have signed up for the course, you will see that in the schedule of what days that I'm available live, that you can talk to me and we can go over the courses going forward, right, on those particular topics. So that information is basically on my website that you can go to, which is nichelanderson.com. Now, I want to do a special call out for listeners that I have seen in my stats that are following me, continue to follow me, which I am thankful for. Now, to get connected more, to stay connected, I'm asking you to consider to join my newsletter that I do send out. And to do that, you just have to submit, of course, your name and your email. I don't spam. You could always request to be taken off the list. I don't send thousands of emails because I don't like thousands of emails from a particular source. So I keep it in a way that's informative, of course, because obviously you like the content because you hear and you enjoy it and you're getting something from it, which pleases me. To expand that and to move forward and to get into other ways that I can expand what I'm trying to do is to form a newsletter, to get that set up in the sense that I'm communicating that I can send that out more quickly, actually, through a podcast or any type of thing or production that I'm doing, where a newsletter is more, in the sense, faster to get that contact and to send it out on blast, right? And more opportunity to send more content compared to like social media characters to be able to get that message out. So do consider that to join my newsletter by providing, and you can find that link at the end of each episode. I have that link to basically to sign up here for Nichel E-List Tips newsletter. And you could do that and you can see that and click, and it's a short form, online form. It is secured and you can complete that. All right, the other thing I want to talk about is basically to subscribe to this podcast. If you haven't, please go ahead. Of course, this is going through Podbean. I have 2 podcasts. This one, of course, you're listening to is Surviving Your Journey to Success. And you can subscribe. Of course, you should see the subscribe button here at the bottom of this episode or at the top, whichever device that you're using. Now, I'm also available on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, on Google Play, on iTunes, and any other podcast directories for feed distribution. You can connect that way and subscribe, and if you like it, share it. Now, I am on social media, and so you do hear me a lot talk about Twitter. I'm mostly active on Twitter. I'm also active on Facebook. For the most part right now is Twitter, and I like the whole concept of keeping it short and sweet. In my closing, I want to say thank you again for joining me today. Here is my closing statement for you. Be you that strengthens and inspires your ability to be strong in your journey endeavor. It's a good thing towards your mental peace and joy, always to your success.